Cleveland, this is for you. We're still here. We're still here. We're still here. We're still here. We're still here.
It comes off. The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship, and it's their second three-peat.
We don't, if one of us go to war, we all go to war.
And we are locked in the Locked In studio. Dave the Wave, myself, Max Van Auken. This is a special one.
This is special on the spot. It even makes it better. I'm so excited. We're going to have live calls. We're going to have people call in. We decided around 32 minutes ago. I'm in the McDonald's drive-thru line. I know Max is not a fan of Mickey D's. Is that correct?
Haven't eaten it in years.
And I respect it. I respect your style. But one, I knew you were a humongous fan of Chick-fil-A sandwiches. Is that true?
100%.
100%, right?
With cheese, butter, no pickle.
Okay. I worked at Chick-fil-A. I love Chick-fil-A. And a total sidebar, and one night I've had 100 chicken nuggets and tenders in a night. It's a true story. I was the Will Chamberlain. I felt like I had 101 points. It was amazing. Anyways, I'm in the McDonald's drive-thru line, and I got their classic chicken sandwich.
Okay.
And Max, you'd be like, Dave, really? Like McDonald's chicken? It's better than the Chick-fil-A sandwich.
How dare you?
People are going to go crazy. I know.
Dare you?
This might be the topic. We got someone calling in already.
Do we really?
Yeah.
All right, let's take it.
Let's take it.
Let's do what we have to do. Okay, who's calling in?
Oh, this is your good friend Roman, Max.
Well, Roman, how are you doing? Before we get started, because everybody just assumes that we know who you are, where are you from? And I'm sorry, keep going.
Oh, I'm from Port Orange, and I like to talk about, our high school basketball. And I know you love the NBA and the Lakers, so I'm sure we could talk a little bit about that.
Okay, let's start off with the high school basketball.
What would you like to know? We got some good games coming up tomorrow. Down to the end of the season, a couple teams are still left.
I got a quick question right off the bat. Roman, can Mainland win the whole thing?
I think Mainland can win the whole thing.
There you go.
I only concern would be if they come up against a team that, and I don't know if there is a team, but that can totally shut Jordan Sears down.
Real quick, Mainland High School guys, Daytona Beach, Florida, known for Vince Carter, played there. Great coach Joe Giddens is the coach there. Did he?
No, I'm just playing.
Okay, so Roman. So I've been able to go to one Atlantic game against Mainland, and that was the first one when they sold out the Embry-Riddle Gym, 3 overtimes, crazy game, right?
Yeah.
I didn't make the second game because I was at a Magic game, and now the third game I missed. But now it looks like they may again play in districts if both teams head up to the district finals. If they played for a fourth time, who wins that game?
I think Mainland still wins.
God, and they win by like 1 point too. It's not even like it's just a blowout.
I'll tell you what, Atlantic and Coach Howard, he gets those kids ready to play against Mainland for sure. I haven't went to many games. I'm not taking anything away from them. That they're doing really good. They have a tough task, though. I do know against, I believe it's Auburndale they play. You know, and that's not just some, easy game that they're going to walk through. They actually have, from what I understand, a 6'8" shooting guard who's probably going to give them some fits.
Yeah.
But I'm sure Coach Howard has tape and has been going over it all.
Hey, Roman, this is Dave. Real quick, is there...
Oh, my favorite of the Van Aukens.
Thank you, sir. Man. I hear that all the time, actually. I appreciate that.
I figured you do, and Max probably just put his head in his hands and thought, oh, man.
I'm keeping my head up high, Roman. Nothing you say can bring me down.
Nah, Max is the best of the best. There's no way we could do this together if he wasn't. He's always locked in. What's the NBA topic? Do you want to just hit on Max's Los Angeles Lakers and how much they're a bust this year and going forward, or is there something that you would want to hit on?
Well, I did like his last two. Well, not to mention, so we have talked about, I got to go back to high school. We've talked about, mainland and Atlantic, but you're forgetting, my son does play for a team that's still playing.
Okay.
And they go to Tampa tomorrow night, Calvary Christian, with a good chance to get to the Elite Eight to play, which would be their rival, North Florida, who's beat us twice this year in two very good games. And possibly a third game, next week. Got to win tomorrow, but we're still alive.
Yeah.
And real quick, Calvary Christian, the best pitcher in the major leagues, Jacob deGrom for the New York Mets went there. So we're just name-dropping all over this place so far on this podcast.
Yeah, I have to say it because, they have gotten a bad rap. A small school, they don't play anybody. Not to mention, we played every school in this area except mainland and Atlantic. And I believe we were 6-1, 7-1 versus everybody from 7A to 9A.
Wow. No, that's impressive. That's impressive, Roman.
I just wanted to make sure people don't forget that.
Yeah, no, that's impressive. And now we have a couple other calls coming in here shortly, so please get on me about my Lakers so we can argue for a couple minutes, and then we'll hug after.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, I liked your thing today, your post online today of your absurd thinking of a player, a kid, should get to choose where he wants to go play.
Roman,
in the pros.
Yeah. After you graduated high school or college, didn't you pick where you wanted to work, sir?
I picked where I wanted to work. Yeah.
Oh.
But
so you can, but Zion can't.
No, because it's totally different. You don't just
This is called getting locked in where you have nowhere to go, Roman. You are officially locked in.
No, I'm trying to put it in the right words. Like, I don't even know what to say, but like I said on the thing, franchises would fold if it was your way.
What kind of franchises would fold?
The lesser of the franchises, the not-so main market franchise. Okay. A franchise with a coach that maybe, let's use Greg Popovich. A lot of kids would choose to go to the Spurs to learn from Greg Popovich instead of, let's say, Jeff Hornacek. And he's probably a good coach, but he's damn sure no Greg Popovich.
Of course.
So he's going to get, like I said, second rounders are going to go, hey, I might as well go play for Jeff Hornacek over there because I'm going to get minutes, like Max said, and I'll probably get paid a little bit more. That team's going to be terrible. Second rounders barely make the NBA.
For one, the team is terrible how it is already. Two, how about they get a team full of Draymond Greens and Devin Bookers and Klay Thompson's late first-round picks? That team sounds pretty damn good to me.
Yeah, but, that's ifs and,
Sure.
What if this happens? What if that happens? I think the way it is, like I said, it's an audition for them. Yeah, they're auditioning in college to make the pros.
Yeah.
Yes.
Roman.
They do have 2 to 3 years where they're auditioning against the best players in the world. Let's not forget, probably 15 to 16 million people play basketball. Only 435 of them make it to the pros.
Great point.
I love your stats, Roman, but here's my quick thing. Whenever we do hypotheticals, of course, there's always ifs and whatnot. That's inevitable. But with my theory is the biggest problem right now in the NBA is tanking. So the argument is these players won't go to a small market or a smaller franchise. How much worse could it possibly get if these teams are already bad? It's not going to get worse. I feel like it can only get better because you will have an outlier out there that will choose these type of markets.
Yeah. Russell Westbrook stayed in Oklahoma City Thunder. Giannis wants to stay in Milwaukee. Kawhi,
That's true. And what are they doing there? They're building around around that.
Yes,
Guys aren't choosing like, oh, I'll just go play over there. They're actually building around it because guys actually left there. James Harden left there. He couldn't get enough money. He left there. Kevin Durant didn't want to play with Russell Westbrook. He left.
Yeah.
It just happens. Guys leave, the free agent. Don't sign. Anthony Davis made the mistake by signing a 7-year extension. Why'd you do that if the Pelicans tried?
Yeah.
You got DeMarcus Cousins. Obviously, he was a problem, or he didn't want to play with Anthony Davis, so he left.
No,
so they bring in other guys.
Well, just real quick on the last point, and we got to jump, Roman. We do appreciate you calling in.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
The last one on DeMarcus Cousins, he didn't want to leave, and actually him and AD got along great. He tore his Achilles, and the Pelicans, just to call it a spade, they didn't want to give him big-time money if they weren't sure if he was going to be 100% or 80%. So that's why he did go to Golden State for on the cheap, because he knew he's going to win a championship this year. That's why he went.
Especially after an Achilles with big men.
That's a good. Well, I'm glad you cleared that up because I don't really pay too much attention to that. I just thought, damn, this guy went and took $5 million instead of playing with Anthony Davis and building that franchise up with those two big guys.
Well, we're always locked in. That's what we do for a living.
Roman.
Oh yeah, you're totally locked in, except Max and his Lakers.
Listen,
and we'll
Roman.
get on that on another time.
Roman,
because I'm sure I hope the next caller gets on with the Lakers.
Roman, I love you. I can't wait to have you in the studio where I can completely just obliterate you on my Lakers. So you enjoy that Duke UNC game.
I appreciate it, and everybody, go out there tomorrow night at Mainland. Support the Mainland Buccaneers against Lake Gibson.
Yes, sir.
And cheer for every other local team.
I may be locked in the building.
All right. Last thing, 3 seconds. Duke or North Carolina, who wins?
Oh, Duke every single time. Not even close, by 20.
I love it. Thank you, Roman. Have a great night, brother.
You too.
Wow. That's how we start the show, guys. Great first call. Let's just keep it rolling. So, Max, he wanted to work. He wanted...
Look, whenever you deal with hypotheticals, there's always going to be ifs. Like, there's always going to be asterisks. There are always going to be question marks. But so far, every person we've debated with, and this is no disrespect to Roman by any means.
Oh, no. Love him. Great caller.
I really do feel like we get the better of it when it comes to the draft theory. Because it can't get worse, in my opinion. It can only get better with this theory.
Yeah. People are afraid of what they don't know or of the unknown. I'm so sick and tired of people won't go there and stuff. You never know. It's people like Giannis. And I said that you only get one first-round pick, guys. So the first, Markelle Fultz, bust. Greg Oden, bust. All these guys are bust. So people in that draft, Damian Lillard was like the 12th, 14th pick of that draft. So the 12th or 14th option could be Portland or Oklahoma City or Brooklyn. Yeah. So these teams, if you scout right and you coach them up and you try hard all the time and you have a good working environment, kids will stay.
You said you're scared of what you don't know. So we usually when I get meat and pasta with meat sauce, I cook it right when I get it.
Ooh, okay.
For some reason, we put it in the freezer because we knew we couldn't cook it right away. We let it thaw the next day.
Okay.
We tried having Sloppy Joe tonight. You can't go wrong with Sloppy Joe.
Very true.
I was scared because I never tried it. And I was right to be scared. It didn't taste the same. So I understand why people are scared of trying things they don't know because I've liked Sloppy Joe 50 out of 50 times I've had it in my life. Today was the first time I never liked Sloppy Joe.
Wow. Should we just end this episode? Like, is it over? I don't know if anyone's going to call back in with the Sloppy Joe.
All seriousness, I was a little grumpy coming in here because I didn't have dinner. I didn't have Sloppy Joe. I'm recording a podcast without any food in my system. I should leave right now.
I went through the drive-thru. I could have got you something.
I don't eat McDonald's. I'd rather starve.
Oh, gosh.
We're never going to be sponsored by McDonald's.
I did buy you lunch today.
You did. And that wasn't even my fault.
One for the ages. I love that.
A guy picks up my tab and says, hey, yeah, I got your cheeseburger. I said, I appreciate that. Yeah. You come sit next to me. Hey, Dave, you want to split the cheeseburger? Like, that's not my fault.
You can't do that. That's never happened in my 34-year-old life. I've never heard that. Like, I'm going to do something for you. Wait, something else comes? Hey, let's split it. What?
I was sitting there and just like, do I walk out? I'm not sure how to take this.
Wow. So we got 2 more callers in. We had to put one on hold. Great call by Roman.
Yeah.
The NBA draft idea, to kind of wrap a bow on it, and we can talk about it throughout the episode, is I just want to give it a chance, like you said. Maybe you give it a 5-year window, and you see how it works, because any 1 year of any way can be the best thing ever or the worst thing ever.
100%.
It happens. Also, guys, just really quick, this Sunday is the MMA Awards Show. It will be live on Facebook around 5 o'clock. We could win an award. Oh, we got a caller.
We have a caller. We could win an award. Hello, where are you from and who are you?
I am Debbie Gamble, and I'm in Boca Raton, Florida.
Awesome.
Debbie, how are you? How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing okay. I'm just a little, I'm not nervous, but I'm just, this is exciting.
You're locked in. There's no need to be nervous. We appreciate all the support. In case any of you guys listening don't know, you could be our number one supporter. We appreciate all the love and support. We really do. And I do have a question for you.
Problem.
I know you're calling in.
Yeah, go ahead. You can
Okay.
ask me a question for you.
Okay, because I know you're calling in, and typically the roles are reversed. You ask the question. So my question here for you is, how did you get so into MMA?
All right. Well, it started. I'm going to make it short. I'm not going to go back like 11, 12 years. I couldn't do that. It would take too long. But no, just to make it short, I found somebody on just a random person that taught me about MMA.
Mm-hmm.
Taught me everything about MMA through Facebook. He was my friend, and he told me all about it. That's when I first started getting into it. Then I met Aaron Rodgman.
Gotcha.
And he's the one who took me to the first fight, the first live fight. Now I'm hooked, and I can't stop.
That's such a great point, great story. There's nothing like watching fights live. We call a lot of fights live, a lot of local fights. We've been to UFCs and everything in between. We've been to basketball games and baseball and football, but nothing like a fight live, Max. Like, you just never know the fight.
I know, man. It's just so different than watching it, on TV. I started watching it after he taught me about it. I started watching it on YouTube, and then I started watching it on TV. And then when I met Aaron on Facebook, that was all she wrote.
That's awesome. We actually have one more caller calling in, Debbie. But hey, you have a question for us or Max or me or just
real quick, so your caller can come in. I just want to know how you guys got started, how you met and got started.
Okay, I met because I was in a hospital, and I think he was there when I was born. I think so. I'm not sure. We are family, but...
okay, your family. See, I didn't know that.
Yeah, 100% cousins.
Yep, we're cousins.
One night, I was just tossing and turning in my bed. I don't know why. I couldn't sleep. And I'm like, you know what? I want to start a podcast. Let me text my cousin because he's the guy that knows more sports than anybody. And I texted him, and for some reason, he responded right away. And he said he's in.
Wow, and then there you guys go.
There we go. And the story I've told 6 times, and I love it. I'll tell it a 7th. Max texted me a 982-word essay through an iPhone.
Yeah.
And when you long text someone, like, when you have an ex-girlfriend or ex-boyfriend and you get that really long, mean text, like, you just sim through it and then read the end. So that's what I did.
Yes.
Like, it was such a long text, and Max, wrote all these words, and I think he said a lot of really great things about me. But at the end, it just said, Dave, I think we should do the podcast. And then I wrote back. It was 2:30 a.m. I go, I'm in. And the rest is history.
Oh, there you go. And then the rest is history, yep. And look at you guys now.
Yeah.
I don't want to keep you. I know you're getting other calls, but thank you for having me.
Thank you.
No problem. We'll see you Sunday at the MMA Awards Show. We can't wait.
You better believe it. I'm not going to miss that for nothing. I'll see you there, okay?
Awesome.
You guys have a wonderful night.
You too.
Thank you.
Stay locked in.
Thank you. Yep. Yes, I will. Bye-bye.
Wow. That is the number one supporter right there. In case you guys don't know, Debbie, every post, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, you name it, she supports us so much. And without supporters, there's no podcast. So I don't care how many downloads we get, we always love the supporters.
Yeah, she's the number one Florida MMA fan in the business. I hope she gets an award Sunday night. She's that great. She's great. unbelievable. She supports everyone. She's very gracious.
Yeah.
She's very supportive. Hey, I think she's great. I can't wait to meet her Sunday night. MMA award show.
Did we get another call? Is that what I heard?
We did. We got another call. We had to put that on hold, and I just had to call back. And if they do, they do. We're locked in like always, Max.
All right. In the meantime, I got a cool theory for you.
Ooh, theory up. Oh.
Nope, never mind. Phone call.
Phone call. All right, guys, here we go.
Okay, what is your name and what's your team?
Oakland Raiders.
Donnie v. Oakland Raiders. Okay, Donnie, what's up, my man? What's question, thought, theory? Spit it.
Well, first off, what do you guys think about GSP tomorrow?
Oh, can I take this one, Dave? Can I take this one?
This is Max's boy, so Max running with it.
All right, Donnie. This is what I feel about it. I think George St. Pierre has every right to retire, of course. He's arguably the greatest fighter of all time, just won the middleweight belt. But if there's one thing to solidify him as the GOAT, it would be getting 3 titles, which nobody has ever done, and beating the undefeated Khabib Nurmagomedov, who's 27-0. And for Khabib, if he beats Conor and then beats George St. Pierre, certified Hall of Famer, so it makes sense legacy-wise. But since the fight looks like it can't materialize, they say he's retiring tomorrow, and it's unfortunate. I really, really, really hope it comes to fruition, especially after what Khabib said. But I think George St. Pierre explained that it's more than just that. There's a lot of stuff out of their hands.
Well, yeah, GSP's got a lot of miles on him. You think that, wouldn't that be the knock on Khabib? He'd be the old GSP.
Yeah, I think it would be. But if there's one person who I think could beat Khabib, I really think it's George St. Pierre because, for one, he's bigger if he could do the weight cut. And 2, he's known for his wrestling. So if the wrestling gets nullified, he definitely has the striking advantage. And I know he's the underdog, and I'm in the minority here, but I think GSP could pull it off.
Yeah, if any older guy, it would be GSP. GSP is done.
Yeah.
You can't deny he's an animal. Nobody, even if people who hated him his whole career, it's just one of those guys. You have to just give him all the respect in the world.
Right.
Absolutely. And I got to kind of I heard it's about money. I heard GSP wanted this, UFC didn't want to match it, and Khabib wants a little bit more of the pie, and they didn't want to match this. So my analogy is this, Donnie, and I think you will definitely understand where I'm coming from. If we are walking through Target and our sons wanted a toy and it was $50, we would go, no. We're not going to spend on a Tuesday night this $50 toy. We got school. He didn't behave well, right? We're not going to do that. But if we're in the wilderness and a rattlesnake bites our son and the antidote is $3,000, we would spend that much money in a second. Long story short, guys, this fight, you overpay. This is maybe the biggest fight in UFC's history.
Yeah.
Legacy,
yes.
Khabib undefeated, the GSP 3 titles. Is he going to retire? If I was Dana and UFC, there's no money. Those 2 guys can ask for $20 million, and I would say it, yes. It's a legacy fight. You can't overpay for this.
Well, especially considering an organization like the UFC has unlimited money on tap. He's out there printing it right now.
Exactly. That's my point. Even us normal folk, we would do the $3,000 for the antidote for the venom. But the UFC, like you said, prints $1 billion daily. They can afford it.
Yeah.
I agree. I think Dana also knows in the back of his pocket is he could just put out Conor Khabib too. It might not make as much, but it would definitely sell.
Oh,
true. Good
100%. I think what's really interesting, too, is the suspension thing. It's the timing. It's we know Conor probably fights Donald Cerrone, and then Khabib suspended for a year because he's waiting for his other teammate to get off suspension, and I think that fight ultimately happens again. But like Dave is saying, this fight is either now or never.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, in 2021, this fight does not happen.
Yeah.
Donnie, anything else? Any football talk or more MMA? What do you got?
Well, I heard this guy floating it around. It's a guy named John Middletoff. I'm sure you know him. He does a little podcast with your boy Colin.
He's good.
One of my favorites, Bay Area guy. He
yes.
floated something that absolutely got me jazzed up. And I know a couple of weeks ago I was telling you there's no way the Raiders would take Kyler. But
yeah, they
he
would.
floated a little idea that maybe if the Raiders could pull off trading Derek Carr for Odell Beckham. and then we draft Kyler at 4, I think that I would be all in on that.
I think I'm sorry, you can go ahead.
Just real quick, as a Raider fan, absolutely. I don't think the Giants trade Odell for Carr. I think they trade a first-round pick for Carr because if you're the Giants, you want Odell, Evan Ingram, Saquon Barkley with Derek Carr.
But how bad did they really want Odell if it took them, and this is just a rumor, I don't know if it's true, it took them Bill Belichick calling him for them to be like, maybe we should keep this guy?
I'm a Giants guy, and I think we should deal Odell. I really do. I think we need a quarterback, number one, and I think it's not a terrible idea to get rid of Odell for the right offer, of course. And I think
there's something terribly wrong over there because you have Landon Collins emptying his locker today. Odell, they're trying to run him out the door. They won't let go of Eli. I have no idea what they got going on in that building, and it's something that I've never seen before because they've dealt with guys like Lawrence Taylor with no problem, but you can't let go of Eli and keep Odell happy and keep Landon Collins happy? These are two guys that are like 25 and under that you're trying to run out the door that are elite talents.
I wanted to draft Sam Darnold. I wanted to. I'm like, look, I know everyone loves Eli, and you could argue if he's a Hall of Famer or not, but Sam Darnold is a quarterback that you absolutely need. And I love Saquon, but we all see it. Running backs won't give you wins like quarterbacks.
It's crazy. You're right.
But you could go all in and take Haskins.
Yeah.
Re-sign
like
Landon Collins.
Yeah.
You already have Odell on the books.
Yep.
But you're trying. I don't know what they're doing over there.
Yeah.
I totally agree. Like you said, two 25-year-old studs. They might want to run out because they talk a little bit. LT literally on Saturday night was doing cocaine and hookers, and they loved him. He's like beloved over there in New York. I don't get it. Max,
Saturday night, I think he might have been doing it 30 minutes in the locker room before the game.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
It's hard to argue.
It is. So Max, you're a Giant fan. Would you right now? I like it, Donnie. Let's go with it. Derek Carr for Odell Beckham Jr. If that trade was on the table, do you accept it as a Giant fan?
I'll even throw in a third with Derek.
Oh, a third-round pick. You guys can get an offensive lineman.
I think you probably do.
Wow.
I really do. Just because I don't have, this isn't a deep quarterback draft class. It's not a deep one.
It's not.
And I think you have to move on from Eli. You have to move on.
Okay, so Max accepts that trade. Donnie, as a Raider fan, now you have Odell. Do you pick?
Then I have to take Kyler at 4. I have to.
That's interesting.
Wow.
I mean, I have to.
Good doing business with you, Oakland.
Even if it's just for the amount of tickets I'd sell for the last year in Oakland,
in Las Vegas,
the first year in Vegas, and I mean, I have my doubts about Kyler too with his height and his weight. But I mean, come on, even if it blows up in 3 years, then 3-4 years, you still got Odell under 30, and then we all in on Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
Good. Trevor Lawrence, oh my gosh. Love him, but just my last take on Murray, he's going to work. He will definitely, we'll talk about for the next 4 months until he gets drafted, then we'll talk about him like we did Baker Mayfield. I don't know why I differ. I usually am not a guy that likes a smaller running quarterback. I want
He's athletic.
6'4", big in the pocket, very slow. That's what I like as my quarterbacks. Just look at guys who win championships. I think Murray's going to work. I think he's accurate as hell. I think once a game he's going to make an unbelievable electric play that you just can't defend.
Especially in today's NFL.
Yeah, I think he'll move the chains. I think Murray's going to work in 2019, 2020 NFL.
I think he'll work, but my question is how many years do you get out of him?
That's a great point.
How is his body going to hold up?
That's
Donnie,
a great point.
Great call. I love it. 3 good points. I love this.
All right, we appreciate you, Donnie.
I appreciate you guys.
All right, guys. Donnie, have a great night, man. Stay locked in.
Have a good night. Stay locked in.
That's what we do, guys. That is a good theory, and I guess we can kind of rant on it a little bit. I had another theory to throw at you, so we have piles of theories going on here. I am a Giants fan, and I want a sense of direction. And like what he said, it's just there's so many question marks, and usually the Giants were all about a conservative fan base, stability, and now it's like kind of all flip-flopped. I'm not a huge Derek Carr fan. I think he's better than Eli Manning. But, of course, Trevor Lawrence, you absolutely want. But
he's 2 years away.
Yeah, exactly. You can't just wait for Trevor Lawrence for 2 years.
Saquon Barkley is a stud, top 5 running back in the world. You have good receivers. You have Landon Collins. You have legitimate players right now, Max. Let's win. I think Haskins is where the Giants should go.
Yeah.
I like him. I think he's going to be an NFL starter, an NFL franchise quarterback. And then I would keep Odell. I
don't mind keeping him. I'm not just going to say he's off the table, is all I'm saying.
No, sure. If someone blows you away with the trade offer, you do it. To me, Derek Carr in a third rounder is not blowing you away. I think it's a okay deal. I think it's 50-50, and
pros and cons.
Yeah, I want Oakland to. They have 3 first-round picks.
Yeah,
I want Carr and 2 first-round picks, and be like, oh, I'll do it now. You know what I mean? I want to be blown away about the trade.
That does make sense, guys. Look, we are on all podcast platforms. Download and subscribe. Locked In with 2 N's. iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, Spotify, you name it. Guys, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Locked In with 2 N's. We're not trying to be a walking billboard here, but we do have to thank our wonderful sponsors here. We got myfitmeals.com for your meal plan. Yes, we talked to a lot of MMA fighters. We talked to NBA players, and I guarantee you there's one thing they both have in common for sure. They have to have a good diet. You have to have energy in any profession that you do. And not even just if you're an athlete, but just to have like how you always say, you wake up, crack of dawn, and then you go to bed really late. You have to have energy.
It's true.
No offense. McDonald's will not give you that energy, Dave.
I drink a lot of iced coffee, guys. I drink a lot of coffee. Did you hear C.J. Anderson on the Colin Cowherd show?
I could tell you Katino Mobley was on that. Was Doug Gottlieb on that one? Rob Parker?
I didn't like it, really. He goes, in the summer I eat pizza and ice cream, and I gain 20 pounds. It's like, oh, so that's why you were cut 3 times in the last year. Like,
ooh, Dave, you're tough
I'm
over
throwing
here.
heat right now. He doesn't take it. I don't think he respects the game. I don't think he takes his profession serious enough. Todd Gurley is not eating McDonald's.
Okay, but who showed up that game?
It's bad coaching. Gurley should have showed up. That's when they were 12-1.
I wouldn't say he doesn't respect the game. What I would say is that he maybe who are you comparing him to? If you're comparing him to Tom Brady, then of course he doesn't take it as seriously maybe as Tom Brady. I think he's like he said, he loves football. Like he studied Sean McVay before he went over there, and he made sure he learned the playbook right away. I think he's very intelligent. Maybe that just works for him because if not everybody can be under such a strict regimen all year round, it may get to you. Not everyone's built like Tom.
I know, but Tom's a champion. Tom's a 6-time champion. That's why.
100%.
That's why,
100%.
And that's what I'm saying. So you don't have to go just with eating kale. That's fine. But you should eat grilled chicken.
I agree.
And asparagus 4 days a week, and then one day eat a steak and a baked potato. Like, he's saying, oh, I get up and eat McDonald's and ice cream all day and pizza. It's like, CJ,
how many people would have done what we did already tonight? Improvise 20 minutes before the studio, take calls. Come on, not a lot of people will do that.
You're right. That's why they don't have the podcast game like we do.
I'm just saying the greats will always...
Just saying.
Enough patting ourselves on the back here.
Just saying. Oh, man.
We're missing this Duke UNC game, though.
I know. I want to watch it, Zion. Real quick, though, so we mentioned the MMA awards. Next week after that, we are going down to Coconut Creek. American Top Team. We have interviews lined up, pictures, videos, kissing babies. We're going to spend the day with Coach Billy Haddon. No one throws a left hook better than Coach Billy. We are so excited to get down there. The next week, 4 days later, you and I head to Destin, Florida. Island Fights 53. It's in Destin. It will be on the UFC Fight Pass. A couple fights got announced today. One, and we had Christian Lawson on the podcast before, Hollywood.
And Wesley Golden.
Yep, and Wesley Golden. But we've had the Fight Bananas on Lawson today. For how young he is, I just love his
maturity,
his outlook on the game. That's going to be a hell of a fight. Island Fights, Philip Rowe fights on there from Fusion XL Performance.
I have a couple things.
Okay, sure, shoot. I was going to keep on going, but
there's a reason. I'm not trying to call out all the fighters here, but I do have something here.
Okay, call out people.
Who runs Island Fights?
Dean Toole.
Who's associated with Island Fights?
Roy Jones Jr.
Who is
the top 3 greatest boxer of all time.
And do you know he has a song that he came out with a long time ago?
Yeah, it's
Can't Be Touched.
Got 4.7 million views on YouTube.
How come there's not one fighter that came out to that? It's a pre-fight song. It's a hype song for one.
Roy does.
Yeah, Roy does, but out of respect, why don't you do that? Or
out of respect, you don't do it because Roy does.
And another thing is, he's not on every card.
Oh, no.
So the cards that he's not on, why didn't someone come out to Roy Jones Jr.?
Can't do it.
I would love to come out to Roy Jones Jr. It's out of respect.
Like the Avengers theme, like how cool that song, like their main song, and they all get together, and New York City's falling apart, and that song comes on. Why doesn't Star Wars use that song? No, it's the Avengers song. That's the only one that can use it. You just can't take that.
How many people trade jerseys in the NBA? How many people... John Jones comes out to Muhammad Ali's The Champ is Here.
But...
That's the greatest boxer of all time.
Yeah, but Muhammad Ali is not affiliated with the UFC. He's not out there still fighting and part of the UFC. Like if he...
We don't know that.
Actually, I do. I do know that.
I don't know. I'm just like, I think that would really just be like, okay, come on now. That's just...
Okay, I guess so. Real quick, thank you so far to Roman, Debbie, and Donnie. Thank you for calling in. I believe, hopefully, we got a couple more callers in. I kind of have something. Do you got...
Oh, I did have something.
Oh, yeah.
Don't stare at my notebook. These are just off who called and what's going on. I'm just trying to mark it down.
David Van Auken is the most handsome man in the world. Thank you, Max.
I do have a question for you. And it may be a 5-second answer. You may want to kind of dive into it. We're both Zion guys, right? Duke plays UNC tonight. We absolutely love Duke. We love Zion. We think he could be special, and he'll have an impact right away. No matter what team he goes to, Phoenix, your Knicks, maybe the Suns, who knows, right?
Yep.
Well, I just said Phoenix and then the Suns. But my point, or I meant Atlanta Hawks.
Sounds good, bro. Cavs, who knows? Okay.
Let's just say he gets drafted to, like, Phoenix, right? Or he gets anywhere. Where would you rank him immediately in the NBA?
19th.
Like what tier? Like tier 1 is like
fourth tier.
Oh, so he immediately is he's cracking top 20.
Yes, right away. First day on the court.
Wow. How many people have done that?
LeBron James.
That's what I was thinking. Like, I was like, how many people have literally... Because I put him in that same area, too, and I'm like, I don't want to see what Dave thinks. How many people have done that?
Ben Simmons was close that first year. He didn't play the first year, but his second year, his first year playing, he was awesome. Donovan Mitchell was special his rookie year.
But not top 20. I can name 20 players.
Probably not. LeBron James and...
like Kobe wasn't?
No, he was awful his rookie year.
And I mean, like, Tim Duncan wasn't.
No, Tim Duncan was really... No, Tim Duncan is one.
You think he was top 20 right away?
Yeah.
Because he was awesome.
He won the championship his first year, averaging 21 and 11. Yeah, he was awesome.
So he's top 20 right away.
He beat the Knicks in the finals. He was right now. You're right there to Anthony Davis. He was that good right away. And that's why he's an all-time great. Oh no, awful rookie year.
Yeah,
awful.
So LeBron and Duncan.
Shaq.
I was thinking Shaq.
Shaq was really good, but Duncan was better. Duncan, LeBron. Wow. This is a good question.
So my point is, so if our first two people that we come up with is LeBron and Duncan, and if we put Zion in that class, doesn't that kind of set him up for greatness?
It does. And I'm the most weight and, I think grounded and not flashy. I kind of like just winning. Give me Russell Wilson. He's awesome. But I'm in love with Zion Williamson.
I think he's our new favorite player after LeBron.
Yeah. We're Ben guys, too. And,
love Ben.
I'm not giving up on Ben. I think I'm going to have a crush on Zion more, and especially. I don't hide it. I'm a die-hard New York Knicks fan.
Yeah.
Die-hard. And they've been so bad almost my whole adult life. I deserve it. I'm a good parent. I work really hard for a living. I deserve the Knicks to be good.
Locked in. Zion becomes a Laker in his career.
You really think so, or just...
No, I think it's a strong... I think any young player in today's game, it's a possibility he becomes a Laker or becomes on a team in a major market. Like, even if he gets drafted by the Knicks, he may be there his first 8 years. But, like, I think it's only a matter of time before people start to look out for their other ventures, their business adventures. Like, LA sets you up post-basketball, but it still allows you to be basketball.
I get you, but then if I could just kind of reply
with that,
too. The last, even both, that's even worse, but just, I'm going to say with the Lakers, the last 15 years it's only been Kobe or LeBron. There's been no other players that went there, and LeBron is fresh.
Well, you have to look at the recent stretch was because of management, and getting rid of the brother bust was the absolute best thing you could do.
Yeah.
But, Powell, that was a trade, but it really wasn't a free agent.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't a free agent splash.
I will say this, though. Player mobility wasn't the same as it is now.
Agree.
So I think, of course, you have, the Steve Nashes that went there, and Chris Paul almost went there, and Dwight Howard went there. And,
Dwight's one.
Yeah, it didn't work out.
Yeah.
It didn't work out. And then didn't Malone go there? And
trade. Malone was a trade. Nash was a trade. The Dwight Howard's a real one. And at the time, it was a splash. Max money. He came off he was a championship player. It was a trade. And it was a bad trade, too.
What was Kareem?
Abdul-Jabbar?
Yeah.
Trade. From the Milwaukee Bucks.
Wilt trade?
Yep.
Who trades Wilt?
Huh?
Who would trade Wilt?
Who will trade Anthony Davis? It happens. But who would trade Kawhi in his prime?
Back in the day, Wilt was the guy. Why would you get rid of him?
He didn't want to play there anymore. He kind of said, before social media and everything else, he goes, I'm going to be a Laker, and I won't play until you do. And no one said no to Wilt. Man or female.
I know what you're saying.
Man or female. I'm winking.
He set records outside of the court, too.
Oh, hey, yo. All right, talking basketball, hopefully someone else calls. I think maybe, Max, you got one or two more. But real quick, we put a video out. Dirk Nowitzki or Dwayne Wade, who had a better all-time career?
I saw this, and I was so shocked by what people said.
Me too.
Everyone's like, Dirk. And I'm like, I kind of lean Wade.
Then did you see, at the end, I'm, trying to be real with it. There is no answer, and it's okay. It's okay to kind of leave a movie or a show sometimes on a cliffhanger or have a debate that's just they're really not. They're so similar. I just think they're so iconic to their teams, and to me, they're both B-level teams. They're not New York, Boston, Philly. They're B-level. Dallas and Miami are both good, not great. They both won championships kind of by themselves. Zion Williamson just injured his knee. Wow.
What kind of injury?
Bad, they said, after breaking through shoe.
Hold on. We have breaking news here, guys.
Yeah.
Wait a second. This isn't funny, but it's heartbreaking.
I know. We just said how much we love him. Hopefully we can get a video of it. Maybe we'll put it up on the show.
I'm going to say he won't return tonight, but, of course, details haven't been released as far as what it is yet.
Breaking news. Look at that.
Which is always scary, of course.
On the Locked In Sports Podcast.
Tear. It says tear. All right, here we go. I think we may have something here. We'll get...
Plants right here. His foot comes out of his shoe.
Oh, it doesn't look good.
That's unbelievable. He broke his shoe with his own foot. But as you say, the injury does not appear to have anything to do with the...
Wow,
I hate seeing stuff like that. I hate seeing stuff like that. Absolutely hate that.
Oh, gosh.
Can I, we'll get back to that, but can I just, train of thoughts on the Wade Dirk
Wade
real quick?
and Dirk, yep.
Kobe Duncan. Everybody says, I feel like Kobe is the general consensus. You and I debated this, and I understand why you say Tim Duncan, and I'm not mad. I'm like, okay.
Answer.
Yeah, I like Duncan. I really do. The reason why I lean Kobe is he has a higher ceiling. Maybe not as consistent, but a higher ceiling.
True.
In his prime, higher ceiling.
I agree with that
and
point.
I think that's why I lean a little towards Wade over Dirk. And like you said, if people say Dirk, I'm not like, oh, my God, how could you say that? But I think I lean Wade because he had a higher ceiling. I think, you even said it when we went over our finals. Check it out, guys. Locked In on any podcast platform. You said one of the best finals performances you've ever seen. I think it was the best, actually, was Dwayne Wade.
One or two.
Against the Mavericks.
Yes, he beat the Mavericks.
And he took over. He just took over.
Yes.
Dirk was great against Miami.
He was.
It was more about LeBron's meltdown than was Dirk's higher ceiling, and that's why I think Wade's better, higher ceiling.
Dirk did win the NBA Finals MVP, but it was more about what Miami didn't do than Dallas did. Dallas was awesome that year. They were up 2-0. 2-0, yeah. Winning Game 3, and Dwayne Wade just took over.
Yep.
It's just what Chris Mixon did at Combat Night Orlando. A switch was flipped, and he just took over. It was unbelievable. I've never seen, and like Dwayne Wade he wasn't even an all-star that year. Like he was a really good player. I'm trying to give you an analogy.
It was his breakout.
Like almost Kyle Kuzma level, like a good player. Just he's going to be good in the future. He just wasn't there yet, and he just took over.
Yeah, and that's my point. Is you can go over the numbers.
Jason Tatum.
Yeah,
that's the
someone's more consistent. Dwayne Wade has a higher ceiling, and that's why I go D Wade.
And I thought Dwayne Wade is an all-time better defender than Dirk Nowitzki.
Yep.
Just some of the pros on Dirk that I like is one. Best European player ever. There's never been anyone like him. We've seen people like Dwayne Wade, a Clyde Drexler type. We've seen shooters, Kobe and Harden and all that stuff. We've never seen a 7-foot power forward shooter.
One leg.
Yeah, and with even if Dwayne Wade that year that he took over, and it was the best finals or second best finals appearance out of LeBron, 73 beating Golden State Warrior team. He did have Shaq on that team. Like, Shaq should have won the MVP, if you remember right. They gave it to Steve Nash, which was brutal. But he had Shaq. Dirk Nowitzki won that title. He was he was Batman, and then there was definitely a tier down of Jason Kidd, Sean Marion,
Chandler,
Tyson Chandler,
J.J. Barea.
J.J. Barea. But, God, that's crazy.
Jason Terry.
Yeah. Well, the Jet.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I think he has the higher ceiling and the most blocks for a guard. Yeah. Like, he plays bigger than 6'4". So that's why I think it's the same thing with the Kobe Duncan. I really do. Here's my other off-script question, because I've been seeing it, and I'm like, okay, I know I see everybody debating it, but I think Dave and I could debate it better. If Kevin Durant wins this year, so that's 3 titles, let's just say 3 finals MVPs, he wins it next year. Say he stays in Golden State, and he wins next year. So that's a 4-peat, never done. Besides, I think, Bill Russell. Is he better than LeBron all time? Not right now. I'm just saying better all time. If he gets a 4-peat.
Just gets a 4-peat. And you're asking, and if the career's kind of over? Like, kind of like right now you put LeBron over Kobe. He's still playing, but you have LeBron all-time over Kobe.
Yeah, even if his career ended right now.
Okay, so you're saying next year, LeBron makes the All-Star team, averages 27, 7, and 6. Lakers are a 4 seed, just say, right? Mm-hmm. And they get Anthony Davis. They're a 3-4 seed, good team, but they lose to the Warriors in the Western Conference Finals. Durant wins 4 straight titles. Is he better than LeBron all-time?
I have my answer 100%.
No.
All right, that's my answer.
Yeah, I just...
Got to keep everything in account.
He's really close. That borders him really close, especially if, this year, I know you don't like me saying it, but I'm going to throw it's been a little bit of a bust for LeBron this year in the Lakers. Even if they get somehow the 6, 7, 8 seed, they're not going to win a playoff series in my book.
Depending on their seed, I think they do.
And so that helps, And then next year, if he wins it again, gosh, it's close, but I still don't think so. He was never in his prime the defender LeBron was. He was never the passer that LeBron was. And then just guys.
What team he's on?
Yeah, come on. He's on the 73-win Golden State Warrior team, and Durant was added to it. He's on the greatest team ever. It's like, come on, really?
How about this? Say he leaves, he goes to the Knicks. This is kind of like my point of how...
Wait, he went to the Knicks? He's the greatest player of all time.
How storylines can change so quickly. So say he goes to the Knicks after he wins this year, 3 titles, 3 finals MVPs. He goes to the Knicks, never wins again. So he only wins when he was with Golden State. Mm-hmm. We don't even consider him next to LeBron, I don't feel. Because it's like, there's like an asterisk on those rings now because he was with Golden State. So if he leaves and never wins, do we even consider him the way we do now? Like, do we look at him differently?
Yes.
So...
Yes.
But isn't that crazy? So one ring can make you think, he's very close to LeBron, and then not one more ring and he leaves means, it's not close.
100%. I don't want to get so off of it. It's the exact opposite. That one ring that LeBron won in Cleveland. Yeah. If he never won another one, guys, if it was just those 2 in Miami, people don't give LeBron number 1, number 2, and number 3 status of all time. One ring is so huge, especially The one in Cleveland counts as 2, and I don't care if they do get Zion or Kyrie or whatever happens in New York. God bless. Hopefully it all happens. If Durant wins one in New York, that's 2. Like that.
So is he better than LeBron if he wins one in New York?
Yes. And if LeBron never wins again.
Yeah.
Yeah. And let's just call it out. It would be awesome if somehow the Lakers got to the finals and it was AD, Kemba Walker, LeBron, Kuzma.
Kemba's more likely for the Knicks than he is Lakers.
That, and I'm just saying if the other way was the Kyrie, Durant, Zion, Kevin Knox, and Durant with the Knicks beat the Lakers, yeah, he's better all time.
That's crazy, man.
Isn't that nuts?
I got beats him. Yeah, LeBron beats him, though.
I don't know. New York.
LeBron beats him.
That'd be the greatest team ever.
I know. We would have to do that's when we have the biggest thing ever.
Oh, gosh. We would just fist fight. We would just walk in at work. Hey, Mac, boom, punch each other in the face. Zion Williamson, we just said he's top 20 his first day on the court. If those teams somehow collide, he's like the 7th best player in that series. Because he's not better than Kyrie right away. He's not better than Durant right away. He's not better than LeBron right away. Not better than AD right away. I guess the argument a little bit is Kemba. You can argue that.
Is he not better than Kyrie right away?
No. To me, Kyrie Irving's a top 10 player. Okay. I really do think maybe I'm in the minor. I think he's unbelievable.
I think he's unbelievable, but let me just play devil's advocate. Who plays better defense?
We haven't seen him in the NBA, but
you'd
should
assume.
Be Zion. Wiggins was supposed to be a great defender. He's awful, but right?
Especially after this knee injury, you never know. So I would say Zion.
Wow.
He's
never played in the NBA. Kyrie Irving literally hit a 3 in Steph Curry's face to win the Cavs.
I'm saying Zion has better defense.
Yeah, probably.
And so, like, when you look at the overall basketball player, it's Kyrie. But I feel like it's like I don't know if it would be 100% easy to say. I really don't. Like, Ben Simmons and Kyrie Irving, people would say Kyrie. But
yes.
I'm like...
Right now, yes.
Yes. But
2 years, maybe.
I feel like Ben does more. I could say he's a better passer, better defender, better rebounder, better... Like, he doesn't shoot, which is terrible. But
Robert Downey Jr. doesn't do a lot of acting, but he's amazing. He does Iron Man, and he does Iron Man better than any Iron Man person in the world. Doesn't matter. Like, Kyrie does 1 or 2 things better than anyone in the world. He's the greatest dribbler in the history of basketball, and he's the greatest shot-making point guard with a minute left in a game. He's got ice in his veins. Like, yeah. I love him. Like, he's a lot of guys and a lot of guards can score multiple points all the time, but he is awesome. Like, he's brilliant with a minute left.
Yeah, no, he's clutch. Clutch is crap.
It's just special.
Guys, we thank you so much for giving us the calls. We're going to be doing this more often, I feel like.
Yeah, I like it. Max, we have the best fans, the best community in the world. We started this, 2 years ago, year and a half ago, whatever it was, and we're killing it. We're up for an award. I hope everyone voted, and we'll see what happens. Hopefully you guys will watch our acceptance speech.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love it. I love giving other people platforms. And hey, I didn't think we were going to talk about Oakland Raiders tonight, and we did.
Yeah.
What we do. I have a locked in. Do you have a locked in ready, or you want me to go first?
You go first.
Okay. I kind of had it too. It's so funny. We never step on each other, but sometimes I had my locked in coming into this episode because I wanted to talk about the NBA regular season MVP, and we didn't. We'll talk about it next show. But you just said if the Golden State Warriors win, Kevin Durant 3-time NBA MVP, right?
Mm-hmm.
My locked in is this. Kevin Durant for the Golden State Warriors will 100% locked in will not be the NBA Finals MVP. 100%.
Steph? I think it could be. I think Steph would want to get one.
I think he's due for one, and I just said he's not. Maybe it's Giannis. Maybe it's Kyrie Irving.
Maybe it's Clay.
Maybe it's Paul George. Maybe it's another team that wins the title, or if Golden State wins, I got Steph Curry.
All right. My locked in, I've been saying it, and I think it's not really like a bold take, but I have the Lakers making the playoffs. Like, it's locked in. And not only do they make the playoffs, I think they may be able to get a 7th seed. Like I don't think it's just 100%. Oh, if they make it, they're 100% guaranteed 8th seed. Like because things change so quickly, especially around there. Like so many teams have such a similar record. I think they make the playoffs, and I think they may be able to squeeze a 7th seed just because of this. One, they know the difference between an 8th seed and a 7th seed because the 8th seed plays Golden State. They get out the first round. A 7th seed, they may play the Oklahoma City Thunder. They may play another team which they have a legitimate shot at beating and advancing. Do they beat Golden State when they face them? No, no way. But I think that's why they make the playoffs, and that's why I think they could make a push for the 7th seed.
Okay. We usually end the show there. I have one other thing, and I have something on this. Is that okay?
All right.
You know, Denver is 1 game out. They're the 2 seed right now. They're 1 game out of Golden State.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, they're playing really good ball.
Really good. If the Lakers somehow get to that 7th seed and there's 3 games left, do you think that Golden State can say, guys, we're sitting. We're losing these games. Denver would love the 1 seed. It's just cool for a young team to get that 1 seed.
That would be such a jerk move, man.
That Golden State, that's kind of their middle day, right? Denver gets the 1, and the Lakers have the 7, so then they'll play Golden State in the first round.
That's like likely.
I don't know if genius?
I don't know if they do that, though.
Okay, that's my on that. And there was a heavyweight fight on UFC Phoenix on ESPN, and Francis Ngannou knocked out Kane in 26 seconds, exactly like I said. All right, guys, have a great night.
I think Kane needs to call it a day.
Wow.
I think he does.
Why don't we start the whole show on this?
No, because,
really?
I think... I don't think he has anything left to prove. I think he's the greatest heavyweight of all time. I do. I think he...
Even on that loss?
Yeah, because on that loss, I do really think the knee played a big part. And I spoke to the professor. Yeah, he did get clipped. He was never unconscious. He went for the takedown. His knee gave out. Then he got hit again. Then he got hit again. Then he went out. I think if his knee doesn't blow out, he legitimately has a shot at winning that. But that's not what happened. He got knocked out. So off that being said... I don't think there's anything left for him to prove at all.
Kane is a competitor.
Yeah, and
he's a warrior. I don't think he wants to end on that. Even if he loses to Junior Dos Santos versus Verdum a year from now, I don't think he wants that loss, the last image of him.
Yeah, and if I'm not saying he can't compete anymore. What I was saying is that he should be done as far as, dude, you just have nothing left to prove.
Sure.
So, but if he does compete, I still think he gets wins. I don't know if he ever reaches that title, but I think he gets wins.
Okay. Guys, thank you so much. Thank the callers. Thank you anyone that's listened, download. Thank you everyone on YouTube watching us right now. We appreciate you. We are going to be in Miami, Florida this Sunday. MMA Awards Show. Definitely check them out on Facebook Live. We'll definitely share the link. I believe it's under Florida MMA Awards Show. Just kind of put that in the Facebook search bar. Watch us Sunday. Max might not wear a shirt. There you go. Spoiler alert.
Really? We're throwing it out there.
Spoiler alert.
All right, guys. Like always, stay locked in.
I am the greatest. Cleveland, this is for you. We're still here. We're still here. We're still here. We're still here. We're still here.
It comes off. The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship, and it's their 2nd three-peat.
We don't, if one of us go to war, we all go to war.